I saw her on the refrigerator, belonging to an overworked, overweight emergency room nurse. No, she wasn't a real person. She was a caricature of a highly agitated woman, complete with eyes bulging and hair ruffled. The caption beneath ideally related her condition and the state of many people today. I have one nerve left, and you're about to get on it. In our time-pressured society, how many escape the harassment of nervous tension? Very few. Stress is a part of life, and this subject interested me, so I started exploring it in order to better understand how to relate to it. My purpose today is to inform you and share some ideas for dealing with stress in your life. According to Princeton Survey Research Associates, two-thirds of Americans reported being stressed out at least once a week. Over a period of 40 years, people decreased their use of physicians and increased their use of non-medical mental health professionals. Let's face it, a stressed lifestyle can become a behavioral addiction that we pass on to the next generation. Today, we will look at three issues: risks in ignoring stress and the effects of poor actions taken, distinguish between stress and stressors, fundamentals of constructive stress management. What are some of the causes for stress? Ignoring, misunderstanding, or patching up the stress syndrome are destructive and can lead to chronic stress. Lifestyle choices might seem trivial at first, but since they determine the result in stress management, it is beneficial to consider them. Chronic, prolonged stress is destructive because it challenges life's balance. After all, if we slow down, we may realize how exhausted we are when replacing family and a simple life with mind-numbing and nerve-wracking entertainment or workaholic schedule. Psychiatrist Richard Winter states, when stimulation comes at us from every side, we reach a point where we cannot respond with much depth to anything. In 1930, Dr. Harry Link of New York City understood the frustration of one of his patients who lost his job and had suicidal thoughts. He prescribed a program of manual labor which the patient declined. When the doctor suggested making the headlines when he dies by doing something heroic, like running till he drops dead, he agreed, and off he went to make the news. He ran and ran, but could not drop dead. Exhausted, he decided to go home and rest. After sleeping that night, better than he ever slept before, he ran the next day again. Round and round he went, but he couldn't drop dead at all. But he ran himself back to health and strength. Research indicates that it is not what we have to deal with, but rather how we deal with it, or our response that dictates the severity of stress in our lives. Trying to suppress stress with treatments such as medication or meditation practices will not address the problem. Transcendental meditation techniques appear to be effective by a form of escapism, where the alpha waves of the brain are used with a passive attitude that causes more harm by first, not addressing stressors, second, producing adrenaline affecting the nervous system, third, it subjects the person to mind control as in a trance-like state. Webster's dictionary defines transcendentalism as an idealistic, philosophical, and social movement. Developed in 1836 in reaction to rationalism, it was influenced by Platonism, Romanticism, and Kantian philosophy, which members held progressive views on feminism and communal living. And it has nothing to do with relaxation, but it is intended for mind control. This stands in stark contrast to reflective meditation involving the frontal lobe in beta brain rhythms, or of state alertness. Next, we'll look at what stress is compared to stressors and how it affects a person. Stress, a borrowed term from physics, where it means the pressure or tension used on material objects, is referring to disequilibrium, a state of disharmony in psychology. In a more practical way, stress is our response to the stressors in our lives, which we have to acknowledge and address. Stressors can be physical, emotional, chemical, such as environmental factors, excitotoxins, alcohol, fat, sugar, or caffeine. Stressors can be classified also by their cause: not controllable and controllable stressors. The motivational speaker and author Zig Ziglar calls TV the automatic income reducer because of the non-productive, wasted time spent there. TV is the gradual brain drain, when the susceptible alpha state of mind replaces the alert state of beta waves. Lastly, I'll talk about distressing our life. You may have tried everything in dealing with stress: yoga, meditation, pills, methods that might have helped for short periods of time. But your everyday stressors find new ways to creep back into your life. If you are determined to succeed in this battle, ask God for help and think positively. The first line of defense against the effects of stress is an attitude of gratitude. Do you respond with anxiety or with calm, regrouping rather than attacking when found in situations such as traffic jams? Try smiling or counting how many people are happy in those moments. Validate your behavior with an attitude of gratitude, smiling back. Replacing bad habits with effective activities to meet and beat stress are very effective ways to remedy stress. If we stop and reflect upon each activity we engage in, I guarantee that 24 hours will become more efficient. Consistency in implementing the plan daily will pay off. This is a challenge to each one in order to improve and build for the better. And as I close, I would like to review how to overcome stress. So what is stress without distress? Stress is a real process and has to be addressed properly, not patched up. It is our response to stressors. It is self-control that could be understood through abstaining from that which is harmful and using wisely that which is good. In conclusion, is our response to stressors or self-control just another New Year's resolution with temporary success? No, it is something we are or become, not something we try to do.